Here's what's on today's DMV test prep menu. We've got 20 new questions that we were able to harvest from the DMV this year, all served with a healthy side of explanation and a few extra servings of delectable graphics to make everything just a little bit easier to swallow. So put on that driver's ed bib because it's time to dig in and get a little bit messy, starting with question number 20. When you park on a hill, your vehicle could roll due to an equipment failure. Remember to A, leave the vehicle in neutral, B, set the parking brake, or C, set the parking brake and leave the vehicle in park. The correct answer is C, set the parking brake and leave the vehicle in park. When you're parking on a hill, make sure to do two important things. First, engage your parking brake or emergency brake. And second, for a standard transmission, a stick shift, leave it in gear, and for an automatic transmission, put it in park. This way you'll keep your car from rolling down the hill and into traffic, which could lead to a serious accident. Safety first. Question number 19. You just sold your vehicle. You must notify blank within 5 days. A, the CHP, B, the DMV, or C, your insurance provider. Correct answer is B, the DMV. When you sell or hand over a vehicle to someone else, it's important to let the DMV know within 5 days. You can easily take care of this by filling out the notice of transfer and release of liability online, and this way you ensure that you're no longer responsible for the vehicle and its associated liabilities. The last thing you want is someone getting into an accident in the car you just sold and all of their ticket and related insurance fees going against you and your driving record. Next question, number 18. You must drive slower than the posted speed limit, A, in bad weather and or heavy traffic, B, during morning hours, or C, at all times. The correct answer for this one is A, in bad weather and or heavy traffic. In California, there's something called the basic speed law, which essentially means you should never drive faster than what's safe considering the current conditions. Sometimes you might need to go slower than the posted speed limit, and this could be due to conditions like weather, the speed of other vehicles on the road surface quality, so whether it's smooth, it's gravel, it's wet, it's dry, etc. Or if there are bicyclists or pedestrians around. It's all about keeping the road safe for you and everyone else by adjusting your speed accordingly. Too many people answer incorrectly that you must drive slower than the limit at all times, which is not true because you can drive at the speed limit when it's safe. Now you know. Question number 17. A blue curb means A, parking for mail delivery only, B, parking for disabled persons with a special placard or license plate, or C, parking for disabled persons. The correct answer is B, parking for disabled persons with a special placard or license plate. Now let's talk about those cool blue curbs. They're like VIP parking for disabled folks who have an all-access VIP pass, known as a valid disabled person placard or disabled person license plate. Without that pass, even if you are disabled, you cannot park there. That's why answer C, parking for disabled persons, is incorrect. And these parking spots are a big help for people with disabilities because they offer them a convenient place to park. And it's super important to respect these spaces and leave them open for those who truly need them. So please do not park there unless you've got the proper VIP placard or plates. Question number 16. Which of these traffic signal lights directs a driver to slow down and cross the intersection carefully? A, flashing red, B, solid red, or C, flashing yellow? The correct answer is C, flashing yellow. Now let's discuss traffic signals for a moment. We all know that a solid red light means you should come to a complete stop. But what about flashing lights? A flashing red light is essentially like a stop sign. You stop and then proceed when it's safe. On the other hand, a flashing yellow signal light is a cautionary sign. You don't have to stop for it, but you should reduce your speed and be extra cautious as you approach the intersection. Question number 15. Which of these lanes may a driver enter within 200 feet of an intersection where they plan to turn right? A, bus lane, B, HOV lane, or C, bike lane? Correct answer is C, bike lane. You know what's kind of surprising? Some drivers don't realize that it's not just okay, but it's actually the right thing to do. entering the bike lane before making a right turn. So here's the deal. When you're making a right turn at an intersection or into a driveway, you can and should merge into the bike lane, but keep it within 200 feet of where you plan to turn, as long as it's safe, of course. If there's already a bicycle in the bike lane, then you must merge in behind them and give them the right of way. Question number 14. If you're an adult, the safest precaution you can take regarding the use of cell phones and driving is A, only use your cell phone in hands-free mode when necessary. B, keep your phone within easy reach so you will not need to take your eyes off the road. Or C, review the number before answering a call. The correct answer is A, only use your cell phone in hands-free mode when necessary. All right, so here's the scoop on the cell phone usage law. If you're 18 or older, you cannot use a regular handheld cell phone while driving because it has to be a hands-free deal. But if you're younger than 18, no cell phones or any electronic gadgets are allowed while driving, not even hands-free ones, except when you're making an emergency call to the authorities. Question number 13. With a Class C driver's license, a person may drive A, light rail train, B, car, van, or pickup truck, or C, semi-truck. Correct answer is B, car, van, or pickup truck. All right, so now let's break down the driver's license jargon. So you've got Class A and Class B licenses, mainly for big rig drivers and commercial vehicles. But for us regular people, like you and me, the Class C license is where it's at for driving your everyday car or truck around California. With a Class C, you're good to go for handling 2-axle vehicles that weigh up to 26,000 pounds or 3-axle vehicles weighing under 6,000 pounds. One important note, if you've got a Class C, you cannot tow more than one vehicle behind you. Bottom line, your standard Class C lets you drive normal-sized cars and trucks. Next question, number 12. There's a school bus ahead of you in your lane with flashing yellow lights. You should A, stop, then proceed when you think all the children have exited the bus. B, slow to 25 miles per hour and pass cautiously. Or C, slow down and prepare to stop. Correct answer is C, slow down and prepare to stop. When it comes to school buses, we all know what's up with those flashing red lights and the stop sign arm, right? Well, it's like a big stop sign for everyone on the road. Ignoring it not only puts kids at risk, but can also land you a hefty ticket. But what about those flashing yellow lights on a school bus? Well, think of it as a friendly heads up. When you see those yellows, it's like the bus is saying, hey, slow down and get ready to hit the brakes. It means the bus is gearing up to make a stop and let the kiddos hop off. So just like a yellow traffic light warns you that red is coming, those flashing yellows on a bus are your cue to be ready to stop if necessary. Next question, number 11. A driver who is involved in a collision should report it to the DMV within A, 15 days, B, 10 days, or C, 30 days. The correct answer is B, 10 days. Every driver involved in a collision must file a report of traffic accident occurring in California, SR1, with the DMV within 10 days if there is more than $1,000 in property damage or an injury, no matter how minor, or death resulting from the collision. You can have your license suspended if you fail to do so. These number questions are always tricky, but using age-old nursery rhymes to remember them can definitely help. This is a favorite one of mine that Grandma Liz used to tell me at bedtime. Hush, dear baby driver, don't stay silent and still when there's injury, death, or $1,000 bill. Then, my friend, the DMV you must tell within 10 days or you might not fare so well. True story, she used to tell me that every single night. DMV test question number 10. To turn left from a one-way street onto a one-way street, you should start your turn from A, any lane, B, the lane closest to the left curb, or C, the lane in the center of the road. The correct answer is B, the lane closest to the left curb. More than 12 out of 100 test takers get this wrong by answering C, the lane in the center of the road. And while this is true when turning from a two-way street, this question is all about one-way streets. So when taking your test, it may help to visualize the question. When making a left turn, always start your turn from the leftermost, extreme left-hand lane that is available to traffic moving in your direction. On a one-way street, this would be the far left lane. On a two-way street, it would be the leftmost lane closest to the center divider line or the left turn lane if available. Anyways, there's only one way to answer this question about turning from a one-way onto a one-way, and it's B, the lane closest to the left curb. Question number 9. Which of the following is true about road signs? A. Regulatory signs and warning signs must be obeyed. B. Warning signs and informational signs must be obeyed. Or C. Regulatory signs must be obeyed, but not warning signs. The correct answer is A. Regulatory signs and warning signs must be obeyed. Regulatory signs like speed limit and stop signs communicate many important rules you must obey. Warning signs like stop ahead and school zone signs alert you to upcoming road conditions you must prepare for. Whatever type of road sign you encounter, just know that the DMV handbook yells at you in bolded letters that you must obey all warning signs regardless of their shape or color. Question number 8. Treat lines as a barrier when A. Two sets of solid double white lines are spaced 2 feet apart. B. Two sets of solid double yellow lines are spaced 2 or more feet apart. Or C. Two sets of broken yellow lines are spaced 1 foot apart. The correct answer is B. Two sets of solid double yellow lines are spaced 2 or more feet apart. So first of all, what is a barrier? Well, in the simplest sense, a road barrier is any physical object that separates lanes of traffic. Common barriers include guardrails, concrete walls, orange construction barrels, or center medians or islands. Whenever you come across two sets of solid double yellow lines that are spaced 2 or more feet apart, so basically 4 solid yellow lines like in this picture, you need to pretend that this is a barrier that you can never cross over. Just like you would never drive into a guardrail or through a concrete wall, don't drive over the 4 solid yellow lines. Almost 1 out of 6 incorrectly answered two sets of solid double white lines are spaced 2 feet apart. And while you should avoid driving over sets of solid white lines as well, the DMV handbook only mentions 1 set of double solid white lines, which indicate a lane barrier between a regular use lane and a preferential use lane, such as a carpool or HOV lane. It does not refer to 2 sets of solid double white lines. Cool? Cool. Question number 7. What should a driver do at a crosswalk with flashing lights? A. Make eye contact with the pedestrians and then pass them. B. Always stop. Or C. Look for pedestrians and be prepared to stop. The correct answer is C. Look for pedestrians and be prepared to stop. A crosswalk is a designated safe zone on the road for pedestrians to cross. Usually you'll spot it with those trusty white striped lines, but at school crossings, they might switch things up with yellow lines. Now here's the kicker. Not every crosswalk gets the same paint treatment. Some come with flashy lights instead of, or in addition to, the painted lines. No matter the style, whether it's lines, lights, or both, remember this golden rule. Keep an eagle eye out for pedestrians. Always be ready to hit the brakes if someone's about to make their way across. When it comes to pedestrians, it's safety first, second, and third. Question number 6. You want to make a right turn at an upcoming intersection. You should slow down and A. Move toward the right side of your lane. B. Avoid driving in the bicycle lane. Or C. Signal for 5 feet before turning. The correct answer is A. Move toward the right side of your lane. Astonishingly, a whopping 25% of students are answering this one wrong with C. Signal for 5 feet before turning. To make any turn, you need to signal at least 100 feet before you turn. That is way more than 5 feet. And think about it. Some people are about 5 feet tall. So you're telling me you'd only signal a person length away before turning? That's just crazy talk. The clear winner here is A, move toward the right side of your lane, because it's precisely what you want to do before making a right turn. By shifting to the right side of your lane, you're making sure no sneaky cars try to slip past you on the right while you're making your turn. Plus, if the road's wide enough, the cars going straight behind you can zoom on by safely while you prepare for your right turn. Yay! Question number 5. Which of these vehicles must stop before crossing railroad tracks? A. School buses. B. Sport utility vehicles carrying 4 or more persons. Or C. Pickup trucks towing a trailer. The correct answer is A. School buses. When approaching railroad crossings, be cautious of vehicles that must stop before they cross railroad tracks. Those larger vehicles like buses and school buses, and those marked with hazardous material placards, have to stop at railroad crossings for safety reasons. Here's why. Buses and school buses. These vehicles are larger and often carry a lot of passengers, including children. Stopping before the tracks ensures that they can check for any oncoming trains and cross safely without any unexpected surprises. Hazardous materials placarded vehicles. These vehicles are carrying materials that can be dangerous if there's an accident. Stopping before the railroad tracks allows them to ensure the tracks are clear and that it's safe to proceed, therefore reducing the risk of spills or accidents involving hazardous materials. I don't know about you, but that makes total sense to me. Question number 4. Roadways are least slippery, A, on bridges in freezing temperatures, B, after it has been raining for a while, or C, during the first rain after a dry spell. The correct answer is B, after it has been raining for a while. This question can be a bit of a brain teaser, especially because it asks about the least slippery condition. And the right answer is after it has been raining for a while. Here's the truth. When it's been raining for a bit, most of the oil and dust on the road have been washed away. That's why it's the least slippery of the options. Now, the other 2 answers might seem tempting, but they're actually describing conditions that can be pretty darn slippery. Bridges and overpasses. These areas freeze up faster than regular roads, and they can hide sneaky patches of ice, making them more slippery. Right when it starts to rain. Yep, the first rain, especially after a dry spell, can be quite slippery. That's because the rain mixes with the oil and dust on the road, and then it creates a slick surface. So while it might seem counterintuitive, after it has been raining for a while is your best bet for a less slippery road condition. Question number 3. What is the recommended hand position on the steering wheel? A, 10 and 2, B, 9 and 3, or C, 12 and 6? The correct answer is B, 9 and 3. This is a tricky one because the DMV used to promote 10 and 2 hand positions for the best steering control. And generally speaking, DMV examiners really just cared that drivers kept both hands on opposite sides of the wheel. So 10 and 2, 9 and 3, 8 and 4, they were all acceptable, depending on the driver's preference, the size of the steering wheel, etc. However, the technique for proper placement of your hands on the steering wheel has evolved over the years, with the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, or the NHTSA, now recommending the techniques known as 9 and 3 and 8 and 4 due to the added safety they provide from potential airbag injuries. Now, if we turn to the California DMV handbook, we see that these NHTSA steering wheel recommendations have made their way here too. Under the section Controlling the Vehicle, DMV says, to control your vehicle, it is critical to keep both hands on the wheel whenever possible. And then they list 2 recommendations for dual hand steering. For hand-to-hand steering, known as push-pull steering, the DMV says to start with your hands at 9 and 3 o'clock or 8 and 4 o'clock. For hand over hand steering, the DMV says to start with your hands at 8 and 4 o'clock. Anyhow, if steering wheel hand positions come up on your DMV test, now you'll be better equipped to get this one right. Question number 2. Dim your high beam headlights to low beams within blank feet when a vehicle is coming towards you. A, 200, B, 300, or C, 500. The correct answer is C, 500. When another vehicle is coming toward you, it's crucial to switch from high beam to low beam headlights within 500 feet. This helps everyone see better and avoid blinding each other at night. This is another one of those tough DMV questions that you're just going to have to memorize. It's especially hard because two of the answers, 300 and 500, are both numbers you need to remember concerning when to turn off your high beams. As this question states, you must dim your lights to low beams within 500 feet of a vehicle coming toward you. But then there's a very similar DMV question that states that you must dim your high beams to low beams within 300 feet of a vehicle you are following. My best advice is this. Know that both 300 and 500 feet are distances you need to memorize for high beam questions. Then use a little common sense to know which distance applies to oncoming vehicles, 500 feet, and which one applies to vehicles you are following, 300 feet. It makes sense that you turn off your high beams earlier for oncoming cars because they are rushing towards you and will be blinded by your lights much more quickly. So just remember that the bigger distance of 500 feet is for oncoming vehicles racing towards you. And here we are, folks, the last but not least of our new DMV questions. Well, it actually is the least correctly answered. So please pay attention, take notes, draw diagrams, and use your calculator if you have to, or just memorize it. That's probably much simpler. So without further ado, hardest new question number 1. A person convicted of reckless driving or engaging in a speed contest that causes injury to another person is subject to A, imprisonment and/or fine, B, community service, or C, all of the above. And the correct answer for this one is A, imprisonment and/or fine. According to the DMV handbook, a person convicted of reckless driving or engaging in a speed contest that causes injury to another person is subject to imprisonment, a fine, or both. A walloping 58% of test takers choose wrong answer C, all of the above. And I can see why. It seems reasonable that a driver who recklessly drives and hurts someone should be fined, imprisoned, and do community service. But alas, the DMV makes it clear that this bad driving behavior will solely subject you to financial penalties and/or some hard time behind bars. Perhaps their stance is to ensure that serious consequences aren't avoided through community service. If you're racing or intentionally driving dangerously and end up injuring someone, some jail time and financial consequences seems a more appropriate punishment than just being forced to pick up a little trash on the side of the road. But that's just me. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Whew, that was a whole lot of DMV test material to digest. And anytime I finish feasting on the rolls of the road, I need to take a little nap. So before I turn in for a little shut-eye, just know that I wish you all the sweetest of driver's ed dreams. And more importantly, I wish you the best on your upcoming driver's license exam. From Liz and all the fine folks here at Driver's Ed Direct, sleep tight and please stay safe out there.